Good evening, Assalamu alaikum, and a very warm welcome to Visionary Paths with me, your host, Farzana Mayet, a segment that solely focuses on chatting to game changers and change makers. And tonight is certainly no different as we chat to one such game changer and change maker. Please say a very good evening and Assalamu alaikum, and a very, very warm welcome to Fazila Rasool. She is the director of Rasool Steel. Fazila, Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for joining in Visionary Paths.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, Fazila, I've read your bio. You've got such a vast portfolio. But for the benefit of our viewers, can you please just tell our viewers, who is Fazila Rasool?
I am a steel entrepreneur who quite literally grew up in the steel industry. From the age of 8, I started with my dad. When most of children were playing, my mom and I used to paint gates after madrasa, which my dad had routed the day before after a long job.
Wow.
During the weekends, Dad and I went out to carports and gates, and during our downtime, we stocked up on goods for the week. In grade 9, my peers were focused, they were teenagers, they were focused on life, and my mom, that's the time when my mom and I launched our small business. Okay? It was just the two of us, no shortcuts, no employees, nothing. There were times when we used to load the bakis ourselves. Mom used to pick me up from school as the day ended, and we used to wait until it on. Over the time, I moved on from a hands-up on operation to leading and growing the company into a multi-vision divisions of steel, different steel segments, including structural steel, and now we do laser cutting as well.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. So I was going to ask you, so with Rasool Steel, how has your role evolved over time? What are they evolved over time? Because obviously, like you said, you helped your mom and then you went fully fledged into the business. So how did the role evolve over time?
Well, it was actually thrown at me. Like leadership in my, for me, it wasn't a choice. It was a responsibility. Like in the year, going further down, when my dad passed away in 2015, it was like everything was just thrown at me. I had to step into his shoes, take over the business, or take over the company. My husband was my pillar of support. He was by my side. We maintained the business, and we evolved. Mom also she worked very hard with me, and I would always say like 2 women brought this business where it is today.
That is absolutely inspiring, Fazila. So what inspired you to step into leadership within the traditionally male-dominated industry? Because obviously, you would associate steel in a male-dominated environment, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it wasn't a choice, really. So, okay, it was, I just had to take the role of running the business, of making sure everything, at one stage when my dad passed away, I actually thought, I said, it'll be easier for me to step down.
Right.
And get on with my life. But I said, no, we work. I see where we came from, how hard we worked. And I thought, no, let me take the better reins and, pursue. And shukran alhamdulillah, today we are where we are because of long hours. We work long hours. We were steadfast. I wanted this to succeed. And not only for myself, for my children as well, or my mom, for my family.
So you wanted to leave a long-lasting legacy?
Yes. For sure.
And I think you've achieved just that. Congratulations, very again success. Okay, so Fazila, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced early on and how did you overcome them?
Okay, well, earlier on, we had no employees, we had no capital. It was just myself and mom.
So your mom basically started out with sheer determination. She wanted to make a difference.
Yes.
Not knowing how it's going to fare out.
Yes. In fact, my mom always worked hard. She, before this, she used to sew car seat covers for my uncle, who had a make shop. She was very hardworking. She never stood back and, just allowed my dad to work alone. When we started, we had nothing. So whatever we have today, it was because of hard work.
Absolutely.
And perseverance.
And that is so amazing to see because like you say, your mom, she never wanted you to get to work alone. She wanted to always contribute. She wanted to do something. And I think that has been the brainchild behind the clothes and the success of the Rasool Steel brand. For sure. Okay, so Fazila, how was Rasool Steel adapted to changes and challenges within the steel and construction industry?
Okay, we work for basic gates in carports, which I did, to structural steel, and now Mohammed Idwan, my son, heads up the laser cutter. So we just tried to, up the business. We followed trends and whatever people needed, we looked at people's needs, and that's how we got.
And I think that's very important, Fazila, to look at what people's needs and requirements are and then evolve with time.
No, for sure.
So your son, obviously, it's now going into generation by generation. Be then, so his mom working hard, and he decided to head out something of his own. So how was that born, the laser cutting?
Okay, so we actually wanted to do this laser cutting a while back, but because we are not so computer literate, the way the kids are today, so I told him, okay, fine, you study, get your degree, and in today's times, it's very hard to get a job all day. Although he take his IT degree, and that's why I told you, okay, fine, once you get your degree, then you could come join us in the business, head up your own, but he needed to work himself as well. And that's what he's doing. He's getting up the laser cutting. We are assisting, but guiding him. So yeah, sure, that's
And it's truly commendable, as parents, to just support your child and say, "Yes, you have a passion for this. We are going to back you on that."
right. In fact, this year we did the e-test for the first time. Okay, and sugar it went quite well. We were quite surprised. A lot of people were not aware, even in Indonesia, that we're doing the laser cutting. And now that they are, it's like we put an overwhelming response.
That's brilliant. Like I myself, when I saw your work. It's so clean cut. It's so neat. It's so precise. And actually, you do hardly find that anywhere. So congratulations on adding that to the brand as well. So Fazila, what sets Rasool still apart from competitors in terms of values and service?
Okay, well, we are family-run business, as you know. We are integrity-driven, and we are deeply focused on community.
And I know that myself. Sorry to cut you, but I know that myself because you and your husband Mustafa have been one of the most prominent people in the community. Should there a need arise for something to be done, you two are the power couple that always steps up and steps in.
Change in trailblazer.
Okay.
Yeah, and I suppose we don't just sell ski, we sell relationships.
Yes.
And that we find to be very important. And I think it's quality workmanship and trust. Trust is a very important thing with your customers. And that's what we build up as yours.
And obviously, by building trust, I think you would be able to, and I think our viewers will attest to it, by building trust, obviously the customers, they come back. Yes, no, obviously as much as you're a customer, I'm the owner of the business, do your deal and be daddy. Yes, it's building that ongoing relationship that carries on from generation to generation. Okay, so what has your experience been as a woman leader in the steel industry? Because, I want you to dive a bit deeper because I know there must have been a lot of challenges. And for the women out there that are watching, for our women viewers, who want to get into a male-dominated industry, how has your experience been and how have you overcome it?
Firstly, I think you need to believe in your ability, right? Educate yourself. I was lucky enough to work with my dad, so I was hands-on. Nobody can tell me what to use when you're installing a gate or a carport. So the fact that you educate yourself to such an extent that nobody can doubt you for a minute, that's really, really hard. Stay consistent and don't let anyone intimidate you. Confidence grows with action.
Absolutely. But, stay strong. Some of the ladies may not have that resilience at first when starting up to business. What advice would you give them, to stay steadfast? How did you do it?
I suppose with me it was different because it was thrown at me. I didn't know Jim.
Yes.
Yeah. But as I say, once you're educated in the field and you are able to assist people, you won't go wrong.
That is my next question, Fazila. What advice would you give to women now wanting to go into a male-dominated industry? Okay, if it's beat steel, beat anything, what would your advice be to women that are now going to be entering into a male-dominated industry? What is the advice that you can give them? Just some pointers, A lot of them are very apprehensive. A lot of them may be anxious, suffering with anxiety. What inspiration can you offer them? Because you've been in this for years now.
It says, be steadfast, believe in what you're doing, and don't let anybody put you down. That's how I would feel, because if anybody has to tell you, if you educate yourself, you won't educate yourself in the field. You won't go on because nobody can then fault you or with anything.
So we think it's very important, like I just said. So like you said, let's back like when you were in school, you saw your mom work, you saw the ins and out of the steel business, working with mom hands on. You didn't just take it upon yourself, okay, fine, this is a fabric business that I'm going to inherit. So you took it upon yourself to learn the craft, the ins and out. So nobody would come and then tell me, no, Fazila, you're doing this wrong. Or this is where I can fault you on your business. This is where you're not going in the right direction. So I can come in there because there's a gap. You didn't make room for any gap.
Yes, absolutely. And another thing, I always learned in business. My dad always used to tell me, one thing, don't forget, what's meant for you is meant for you. Right. Don't jump in anybody's business, because at the end of the day, if it's not meant for you, you won't get a cent more or a cent less.
Absolutely. And that's so profound. That's something that I love by, because what's meant for you is never going to miss you. It is never, ever going to miss you. People always tend to ask me as well, being a woman in the male-dominated industry, how do you, don't you feel the need to compete or be better? Why should I? Because what's meant for me is going to come. It's never going to miss my direction. It's never going to miss my address.
Yeah. Another thing is, I always uplift the next person. Yes. Whether it's male or female, whether it's a business or not. If I know something, I always share. And I found with that, it brings so much of barakat in your life, because you always want better for the next person, not only for yourself.
Absolutely. And I think, we're wanting better for the others. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obviously opens many doors with it, because the blessings are laid, because he's seeing that you're not selfish and keeping things to yourself. You're obviously willing to share and impart your knowledge to others as well. So that is very brilliant, Fazila. Okay, so how important is mentorship in you?
Well, my mentors were my parents, right? I learned from their hard work. I've learned whatever I've learned, like my financials. Also, my dad was very savvy. So if I were to be a mentor, I will follow that direction, and that's how I mentor my kids. So work hard, be honest, and work good values.
So, Fazila, what core values, guide your decision making as a leader?
I always say, be honest, and wish upon the next person what you would want to for yourself. Just by those values alone, you'll be successful.
Obviously, Fazila, I know there's a lot of people that would say, yes, it's easier said than done. We've done it in our opposite. That's how we, defined our leadership roles. Yes. But a lot of people would say, no, it's easier said than done. It doesn't always work that. What would your advice be?
Well, we've been through it. It does, but I think it's...
So take advice from people that have been through the journey. Yes. And listen to them. That's basically what it is all about.
Yeah.
So how does Rasool still contribute to community development and social responsibility? Now, I'd like you to touch on elaborate on this extensively, because I know the Rasool still has been informed with many community projects. As I've said in the beginning of the segment as well, where the community calls upon you and your husband to assist, you always step up and step in. Yes. So please elaborate on, by people supporting your brand and by supporting you and this family-run business, how it is that you then, in turn, it's a ripple effect of giving. How do you and your family give to others?
Okay. I've learned from my parents as well. My dad and my mom always used to tell me, like, they couldn't finish school because they were very poor. They didn't have school shoes. A simple thing like sports shoes to go into school. Like, they used to put cardboard in the shoes because they were a big family. And every time I think of that, I told Mr. Malik, we need to do something for this public, because at this point in time, we still do have the poverty.
Yes.
It is quite prevalent. Yes. So what we've done is we've done a shoe drive, a school shoe drive, and a stationary drive. We try and do it annually. That's the one thing. So we try to get in private schools in our area, because I always say that, your own community comes first. It might not be right, but what I see, that's what I try and solve. And so we go to the schools, we see what they need. We've been to some of the other schools. They don't have a playground. We've given AstroTurf. We've done the AstroTurf for them. The ladies in the squatter camp, they had an issue with this GBV, gender violence. So we went into the squatter camp. We assisted them. What else did we do? The closures in Indonesia. So as you know, the crime was prevalent. We tried to do the first closure in Indonesia. And by doing that first closure, it assisted the people in the area, and it encouraged others to do that as well. So now the elderly feel more safe. The kids, we see the kids at night playing on the roads, which we've never seen in a while. So that really...
Exactly. That was like non-existent for a very, very long time.
Yeah. And in fact, now lately we had one uncle, elderly uncle, came to us. He was in an inlays in Kingfisher, and he says, please, I need assistance. There were five burglaries in a short space of time. So we went out. When people call us, we do go out and we go and see. We don't just do anything like. So we went out, we see, there was a need. And if I tell you, when these people come back to you and they thank you, it's like amazing. Like, you feel at least you did something good for the community.
So, Fazila, what does success mean to you beyond financial performance?
Building a legacy, creating jobs, helping the community, and making my parents proud and elaborate.
Absolutely. I think that's what it's all about. And can you share a moment when perseverance made a critical difference in your career?
I think the main time was when my dad passed away in 2015. At that time, my twins were only 3 years old. So I had to see to the business, household. My mom was a widow. At that stage, I felt, I could just drop things to scare our life. But at that time, easy at the turbo. Yes. But then I put back and said, we work so hard and we become such a long way. And that's where I persevered and I said, no, let me carry on.
I think, and you were the cats to this, Fazila, it's when you feel at your lowest and when the breaking point is there, when you feel you can no longer carry forward, that's when the breakthrough happens.
Yes, absolutely.
So to any of our viewers wanting to just give up, like throwing in the towel, I think it's difficult. That's when the breakthrough does happen.
Yes, no, absolutely.
Okay, so Fazila, what personal habits, or rather, let me point out, how do you stay motivated during difficult or at certain times? Because like we spoke about, sometimes you reach breaking points. So how do you persevere, go through it, push forward?
I think discipline, continuous learning, we don't ever stop learning.
Yes.
Striving for the best, adaptability, and never seeing failure as your fight. So that's, I keep on working, I keep on striving. If something is difficult, I'll go ahead and work hard at it.
So you stuck it. You want to read them up. But no, that's a good thing. Very good trait to have, because it is stubborn in business. You can't fail because you're never going to get up this. And that's absolutely great. And that's part when I said you stubborn, because you know how he is. We businesswomen know we need to get things done, and we're gonna be steadfast in our way to make sure it gets done in there a while. Absolutely. Okay, so Fazila, what personal habits or mindset shifts have helped you grow as a leader?
Now that you don't think about it, stubbornness for sure. Because I want things done and I want it done right in my way. So my son always tells me it's not always your way, but I said, because I feel like, I've been over the years, we know what people want, we know trends. Absolutely. So yeah, so that's why I feel like, I want it my way and I want it to be done to it. Others don't do it. I always say that.
Rather do it. Yeah. Do we try it the first time?
Yes, absolutely.
So what is your vision and future for Rasool still? Is that?
I would like to become a heating steel solutions provider with advanced manufacturing, strong community impact, and a multi-generation legacy, inshallah.
Wow. So you want to mainly grow and expand exponentially in the company.
Let's say, for example, with the laser cut, it's something new in the market. Absolutely. So I don't want to be stagnant. I would like to look at whatever comes, whatever new things come in.
You want to improvise and now grow the business work. And that's amazing, because obviously you're willing to learn and adapt and change and explore and expand. That is absolutely amazing. How would you like your leadership and legacy to be remembered?
Okay, I think people should remember me to say that I broke barriers ethically. I empowered others and turned a backyard small business into a respected company.
A very, very well respected company, I must say. And, it's something that has growing and changing. And it was a lot of hard work. Let us someone to it as well. So, to anyone working from the outside, every business is built with hard sweat and tears. Or I would say black sweat and tears. Because it's never easy. It's never easy, but we're going to get the job done. So, Fazila, which brings me to my last question for this wonderful segment. What impact do you hope to have on the next generation of business leaders? That are from the outside looking in, what impact do you wish to create?
To show that background doesn't limit potential. Okay? Look where we came from and where we are today. Hard work and belief creates opportunity. So believe in yourself and you definitely will make a success.
Absolutely. I think, the absolute belief in yourself, because obviously you've got to have that confidence. And then something I'd like to share as well with our viewers out there, because no matter how scared you look, and again, you are in a male-dominated environment, no matter how hard it may look, but walk into that meeting, walk into that pitch, believing that you are the best person in the room, believing that you are going to get this done, And trust me, it's coming from myself, it's coming from Fazila. The sky is the limit. If you project confidence, 5,000% confidence, there is no way that you're going to fail. If it's inwardly, if you are really scared, apprehensive, worried, don't show it just yet. No need to show. And that's brilliant. So Fazila, before you leave us, the one motto that you ascribe to, your best motto.
Okay. When it comes to my employees, my get and always is a tell me, and I also believe, always put your employees before their sweat rise. And by doing that, it builds respect, loyalty, and a strong business.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Because this has been an absolutely inspiring segment. I'd like to thank you for joining so much on Visionary Thoughts. It has been an honor and a privilege having you.
We have a small token of appreciation for you, Farzana. This is for Ramadan. It's one of our laser cut trays. Hope you enjoy it. And remember asking it to us.
Thank you, Zakla, so much. This is so beautiful.
So that brings us to the end of a wonderful segment. Join me, Farzana, next week where we chat to another game changer and change maker. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and a very good evening to you.